towards the 2022 elections. Joining me now, my first guest is Dr. Amit Mitra, the Finance Minister of West Bengal. Appreciate your joining us, Dr. Mitra. My direct question to you is, who do you blame today for the rise in inflation? You might have heard what Dharmendra Pradhan, the Petroleum Minister, said. He said several states themselves are doing revenue mopping by raising taxes, especially on fuel. Don't only blame the centre for the surge in prices, especially fuel. Your first response.
I think we first must understand that the centre in 2020-21 has made 230,000 crores, 2.3 lakh crores in taxes which it got from fuel, number one. Number two, what they have also strategically done is increase cesses and other things which states do not get a share of. So they keep it all to themselves. So states have only, all states put together, all union territories put together have only got has only made 1.3 lakh crores. They have made almost double that amount. You take the petrol price today. In Kolkata, it's 95.86, almost 96 rupees. How much is the centre getting? 33 rupees out of that. State is only getting 18 rupees out of it. So that 230,000 crores, 2.3 lakh crores, they have quietly collected in 2021, denying the states by increasing cesses so they don't get their share of this.
Sir, Dr. Mitra, if I may point out, just a minute.
Continue to do this.
Dr. Mitra, if I may point out, taking off again from what Dharmendra Pradhan, the Petroleum Minister, says. He says, look, the government has to fund its various COVID programs, that they need 35,000 crores for the vaccination program, 100,000 crores were needed, according to the minister, for the various Garib Kalyan programs launched by the Prime Minister. Where does the government get its revenues in a time of low growth? So they have to go in for taxes.
It's complete, they don't understand macroeconomics at all. If you monetize your fiscal deficit from the Reserve Bank, you can make the same amount of money, but they won't do it because they don't understand macroeconomy. Let me ask you, the corporates today has got a huge tax cut. And you know what has happened? Their profits are highest in the last 4 years, 2.4% of GDP. They have kept it quietly and they're not investing. So they have gained. The middle class has gained nothing. They are only facing petrol prices, which is your topic today. Poor have gained nothing. Do you know that in the month of May, the total amount of job lost in India is 1.5 crore. That's 15 million jobs lost. Only in the month of May, CMI data. So jobs are losing on one side, inflation on the other. So what you are looking at is a stagflation, the most dangerous macroeconomic idea, where inflation goes up, the economy is stagnating, demand is not created, investment is not happening. You're at a very dangerous state in the economy where 2 consecutive quarters you got negative growth earlier, which means you're under recession. Now you've got stagflation on top of that. Employment, 1.5 crores in the month of May. Parallelly inflation. Doesn't make sense to economists. It's called stagflation. This is what this government has done.
You're saying that we've reached a dangerous stage of stagflation, but let me ask you the solution. Let's be clear. The fact is that there are no easy solutions in this COVID period. What are the solutions? Across the world, prices, the US also in the last month has registered a high inflation, among its highest ever. So I want to understand from you, do you have a solution? It's one thing to criticize the Modi government, blame it. You're saying for mismanaging the economy. I read P. Chidambaram, the finance minister, has also accused the government of mismanaging the economy, especially inflation. Offer me a solution.
The solution originally was, which is what they failed to understand, at the time of the first COVID wave, you give money to the hands of the people who spend the money. That's 98% of the money they get to spend with the poor and the middle class. You give them the money, demand will be created. Automatically, these corporates who are making 2.4% of GDP as profit will be motivated to invest, and that cycle is started. First demand, and then the question of investment. What have they done? Instead, they have gone to stimulate supply by giving interest benefits, etc. Nobody is interested in investing right now. They just don't understand macroeconomics. All countries, United States, UK, Japan, spending huge amounts in providing money to the hands of the people so that demand will pick up. Once demand will pick up, supply will make full sense. So they are living in the classical economy called Say's law 200 years ago.
May I
So
ask?
they just don't understand. There's nobody in the government who understands macroeconomics.
May I ask you though, Dr. Mitra, you are one of the leading members of the GST Council. As a finance minister of West Bengal, you've been raising your voice time and again. I want to ask you this. There is a demand that there is a belief that some suggest that one way to tame fuel prices, which are largely responsible for this cascade now of prices across both retail and wholesale, is to bring fuel under GST. But states seem reluctant because you see it as a cash cow and the center also sees it as a golden goose. So going ahead, should you not bring fuel prices under GST regime?
Absolutely not, because it was an understanding from the beginning. States have given up 70% of their taxable income by joining the GST. 70%. We just gave up. Why? Because we wanted to see one tax, one nation, which they have failed simply because they launched it without preparation. And you know all the problems. 71 lakh crores of fraud, according to Mr. Nandan Nilekani's presentation. So you're talking about a messed up GST. And we are struggling with GST today because system is not working, GSTN is not working. Now, petroleum was considered to be one of the small items that is with the state. Only 30% with the state, 70% we've given up. But once you bring it in, what will happen? Your percentages will go up? Your revenue will go up? Of course not. So it is an absurd idea. Right from the beginning, we agreed to the GST by giving up 70% of our taxable income. Now you say, give up the remaining 20% also, so go home. The states will have nothing to do. Federalist polity in India.
Sir, let me be honest. I am talking as a citizen. The citizen is not worried about how taxes are apportioned between center and state. He or she are looking at the rising prices at the moment and saying, look at fuel prices. They're reaching an all-time high, and the cascading effect they're having right down the economy at a time of low income, at a time of low growth.
Yes, I'll give you the solution, Rajdeep. The United States did it at one time. They have built up huge reserves. 75 days of reserves that the United States does not have. Because when the crude prices were low, they tucked away into the 3 places in India. I don't want to mention where they are because of strategic interest. They have built up their reserves. This is the time, as George Bush had done and the Democratic presidents had done in the United States, President Carter did, release some of the existing reserves, bring it down to 30 days, which is what United States has. Immediately, fuel petrol prices will go down, but you won't do it because you're interested in that revenue. 230,000 crores is what you want to pocket.
They say they are giving it back to the people. They say that the government says, the Modi government says they are giving that back to the people through their various Garib Kalyan Yojana schemes. That you are taking the taxes from the middle class to give to the poor.
You mentioned COVID. Let me tell you, West Bengal has spent over 6,000 crores on COVID. Do you know how much center has given us? 279 crores. And in another health mission, another 100 crores. So you're talking about 350 crores out of 6,000 crores the state has spent. What have they done with the 35,000 crores? Give the estimate to the people. They've only spent 5,000 crores. You're hiding the rest. Come out, come clean. Tell the people we have spent this much out of the 35,000 crores. Tell the people, be transparent.
You mean the 35,000 crores on vaccines? Let me ask you this though. And this is, in a sense, again reveals, I'm looking at it again as a citizen. The fact is that you all had a GST meeting over the weekend. In that meeting, there was a debate over whether there should be zero GST on key medical supplies, on life-saving drugs. And there was no consensus. And in the end, we don't have that zero tax rate, which some finance ministers like you, I know, demanded. So I'm asking you, what do I as a citizen say? You know, when I see the prices of life-saving drugs are also high.
I mean, this is, to be honest, this is criminal policy. We said take it to zero rated tax. Or if you don't want to do that because you don't want to pass an ordinance, take it to 0.1% tax, which is practically close to zero. Now, what has happened? Hand sanitizers, you're taxing them 5%. How much revenue will you make? You're taxing masks, which you're saying everybody should wear. I mean, it's absurd. All this should be, can you imagine the furnace of a burning car as a 12% GST? Does it make any sense to you? So what I'm saying to you is Remdesivir. Remdesivir is a 5% GST. While you're dying, trying to breathe, you have Remdesivir, in which you will pay 5%. RT-PCR machine, 18% GST. Does it make sense to you, an RT-PCR machine you need more and more to test? This government is totally unaware of the people's needs.
Okay.
How much money will you make by making these concessions? Nothing.
Okay, you're
making 230,000 crores from
You've made your case. You've raised several key issues. You've also offered a potential prescription. As always, Dr. Mitra, appreciate your joining us there from Kolkata, the West Bengal Finance Minister, on what he believes is the solution for inflation. Let's now widen this. I'm joined by Gaurav Ballabh, the Congress's spokesperson, particularly on economic affairs, Syed Zafar Islam.